This is lesson 1-7a, solving a quadratic equation by completing the square. Before I get to the example, a little background. Here I've got a square of a binomial, x plus a in parentheses squared. If we were to multiply or FOIL that out, we would end up with x squared plus 2ax plus a squared. This is called a perfect square trinomial. It comes from the square of a binomial. Two important things. This middle term, whatever the coefficient of x is, if you take half of it and then square it, you get that final term that is needed to complete the square. So again, half and square, those are key words to this lesson. Whatever this coefficient is of the middle term with the x, take half of it and then square it. And that's a term you need to complete the square. Okay, we're now ready for our example. Example 1. Solve x squared minus 10x plus 1 equals 0 by completing the square. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is take this 1 and move it over there, just so I've got my x squared term and my x term. And then I can complete the square and take it home from there. So x squared minus 10x equals negative 1. I like to put a little box in there so I know that there's something to be added. So now again, I'm looking for the term to complete the square. Those three words. Half and square. So for this coefficient, I take half of it. Half of negative 10 is negative 5. And then I square that. Negative 5 times negative 5 is 25. So I'm going to add a 25 to the left side of the equation, and I'll have to add 25 to the right side of the equation. And again, just to show you my work there, 1/2 times negative 10 squared, that was negative 5 squared, and that was 25. Okay, once I've done that step, I'm back to a previous lesson where we've solved by taking square roots. I can now write this as the square of a binomial. X minus, and now there's two ways of doing it, either half of that or square root of that. Square root of that. Either way, it's x minus 5 squared. If you're unsure, you could FOIL this out and check to see you get that same perfect square trinomial. So x minus 5 squared equals 24. What undoes squaring? Plus or minus square rooting. So I'll square root the left side, and plus or minus square root the other side. So I'll get x minus 5 equals plus or minus the square root of 24. Again, I'll add 5 to each side. Always put the rational part first. And again, the square root of 24, I could simplify that. I know the square root of 24 is the square root of 4 times the square root of 6, and the square root of 4 is 2. So I can rewrite this as x equals 5 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 6. And again, usually on my test, I've got 2 answer blanks. So I would write the answers as x sub 1 equals 5 minus 2 radical 6, and x sub 2 equals 5 plus 2 radical 6. And there you have it, how to solve a quadratic equation by completing the square.